Suzanne Carpenter is our speaker tonight, and we're very proud and very happy to have her because she is studying to be a chiropractor, and she's a teacher, and she's a Baha'i, and we're very unique, I think, in the sense that we are very much concerned about all nationalities, all races, all creeds, and all colors, and all of the people in the world. So without any further ado, we'll turn it over to you, Anne.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm very happy to be here tonight. And I hope that my remarks will start a general process of investigation of the religion which we who are adherents, who follow it, believe is the religion of man for today, because we feel that this answers all of the needs that we see around us and the needs that we feel inside. To return to the topic at hand, I think the celebration of Black History Week is one of the most important celebrations that we as Americans can undertake, because it, in a way, gives a stamp of approval to a large segment of the population which until now has been ignored. And this process of ignoring has been the reason for such books as The Invisible Man, a title by Ralph Ellison. And people who have read that, or probably people who have just lived the experience of being black here in America, can understand without even opening the covers of it just what Ralph Ellison is referring to. Because for so long, black people here were the invisible people. So in instituting and continuing and maintaining the celebration of Black History Week, we are really going back and looking at the actual things that took place. Martin Luther King said, if you deprive a people of their history, you deprive them of their identity and their purpose. And he said this was one of the chief problems that had existed among black people as a result of slavery. I would extend that even further to say that this is one of the problems that exists in America, because it's impossible for one group to be enslaved and the other group not to be affected. About some Baha'i concepts with you, and the concept I'd like to develop is the concept of servitude. And we have to draw a distinction between servitude and slavery. One is the willing relinquishing of the self, the ego, in order to render a service to others, in order to achieve group progress. That is servitude. On the other hand, slavery is the forcing of another individual to do the bidding of someone else outside of himself. So Frederick Douglass was born in slavery, but he was not a slave, because as he learned to look around and ask questions and discover that there were some people who did not automatically run and do the bidding of others, he began to question the system, and in his own mind set himself free. In the writings of Baha'u'llah, in the Baha'i faith, there is a beautiful quotation which I'd like to make mention of at this time, and it's in his book called The Hidden Words. Now, he addresses it to mankind in general, and perhaps later we'll return to this concept. He says, "Free thyself and loose thy soul from the prison of self. Seize thy chance, for it will come to thee no more." So Baha'u'llah came and renewed the old teachings and brought new social teachings that were exactly suited to our needs. He redefined us, and he told us we were created of love, we were created in beauty, we were created noble. Then there was a challenge: rise to that which thou wast created for. See, and this is, in a sense, what Frederick Douglass did when he threw off the shackles and rose to his true stature. It's something that is within the reach of all of us, because when we take that first step, we can be assisted. Baha'u'llah has also identified himself with the position of the servant. Now, this is not to say that he identifies himself with the slave, because we made that distinction. But he identifies himself with the person who voluntarily chooses servitude. And this concept of servitude is very important because it means that the servant willingly yields himself. He sacrifices himself for the betterment of all. Can you imagine what kind of society we would have if we were at this moment able to do that, each and every one of us? That would mean that I wouldn't have to worry about protecting myself because all of you would be protecting me. My concern would be to yield myself to all of you. That has wonderful possibilities if we could just think of them.
In order to make the celebration of Black History Week a memorable occasion for the children of Montclair, the Baha'is sponsored an event for them the following day, Saturday, February 12th, in the public library meeting room. Nearly 50 children and their parents were treated to a musical program starring Francois Clemens, a young black singer who regularly appears on the television program Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. The children were delighted. They loved Francois as much as he loved them.
As we have said, one of the very basic principles of the Baha'i faith is the oneness of mankind. There are other principles that are very important too, the equality of men and women, and the spiritual solution to the economic problems of the world. But one of the very basic principles of the Baha'i faith is the oneness of mankind. And until every group, cultural group and national group and every racial group and religious group is equal, there cannot be this oneness of mankind. So the recognition of Black history, which has so long been neglected, is really significant to us as Baha'is.
I think also that this session with the prayer revealed by Abdu'l-Baha for mankind.
Iris, before you close, I'd like also to thank the members of Niche for filming this event and the one on Friday night.
O kind Lord, thou who art generous and merciful, we are the servants of thy threshold, and we are under the protection of thy mercy. The sun of thy providence is shining upon all, and the clouds of thy mercy shower upon all. Thy gifts encompass all. Thy providence sustains all. Thy protection overshadows all, and the glances of thy favor illumine all. O Lord, grant unto us thine infinite bestowals, and let thy light of guidance shine. Illumine the eyes, make joyous the souls, and confer a new spirit upon the heart. Give them eternal life. Open the doors of thy knowledge. Let the light of faith shine. Unite and bring mankind into one shelter beneath the banner of thy protection, so that they may become as waves of one sea, as leaves and branches of one tree, and may assemble beneath the shadow of the same tent. May they drink from the same fountain. May they be refreshed by the same breezes. May they obtain illumination from the same source of light and life. Thou art the giver, the merciful.